Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Anna. I hope that you're having an amazing day. And without going on for too long, I have huge news, if you can tell by the title of this video, and it is that I am in fact moving within South Korea, within Daejeon. So I'm staying in the same city, but as I mentioned in my life update kind of Christmas Q&A video, I was planning on moving in 2021 to a new apartment. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this place. I love it. It's great for me. But because I am going to be moving in with Matthew, my boyfriend, this just wasn't big enough and his place wasn't big enough for the two of us. So we decided to look into a place together. And that is what is happening. So this last weekend I signed the lease for it. And I am so excited. So to give a little backstory, because I think I mentioned in the video that I wasn't planning on looking for a little while. I wasn't. I had just casually downloaded Tabang, which is one of the main apps you use here to look for apartments, at least that I know of. It's Tabang and Jipbang, and both of them are what you use to apartment hunt. Now, I just, casually downloaded it just to kind of get an idea of prices and the area, because there's a very specific range that Matthew and I wanted to move into. So I just am very proactive about stuff like that. And I just was looking and saving, and I was sharing it with my friend who actually helped me with all of this, because Lord, if you are not fluent in Korean, it's going to be a little difficult communicating to your landlord and understanding your housing contract. So if you're a foreigner looking to move, I would highly suggest either going with a real estate agent that speaks English and Korean, or your language, and bringing along a friend who is fluent in Korean or is Korean that can help you out. If you have an amazing co-teacher and you're an English teacher here, maybe they will help you out, but I kind of wanted to do this on my own. So I was sending it to my friend who was going to help me with this house hunting, and basically she reached out to his real estate agent and they said that I could view the apartment that I liked, and I had relayed to them that I wanted to move in at the end of February or middle of February. I could do earlier, but preferably move in February because this housing is paid for through February 25th. So keep that in mind. So I told my friend that, and he was like, yeah, nope, that's fine. You want to move in February? All good. You can still come view the apartment. And I said, okay, cool, fine. So let's do that. So this past weekend on the 2nd of January, I went with Matthew and my friend, and we met the real estate agent, and the thing is, he got us through the door and explained to us why it was going to be quite difficult to... Wow, excuse that ambulance. He explained to us that the area that we're looking for specifically, which is just closer to the subway, near the subway that's closest to my school, basically, the subway stop. We wanted to move closer to that because in that area of Daejeon, there's the Costco, there is a department store, there's a Home Plus. I'm very close to Daejeon Station. I'm very close to Daejeon Station. I am in a very... It's not the central of Daejeon. It's not where you go for shopping and stuff like that necessarily, but it is a very good spot. And so with that in mind, there's also a hospital nearby. And so not only is this a very competitive area, I found out, but also with this hospital nearby, there was a contract made up with a lot of the buildings nearby, and to also add in, there's not a lot of housing near this subway station. So it's competitive, not a lot of housing, and there's a hospital nearby, and those hospitals had contracts with different apartments to have priority housing for doctors and nurses who work at the hospital, and students who attend the universities, the hospital's university, there we go. So yeah. So hearing all of that, I basically was like, well, that explains why I could find Jack Diddley on the apps for this area. So I hear that and I'm like, oh, so now I have to like fight for these places because there's people coming to view like right after me. And so I look at the first apartment and it's not exactly what Matthew and I are looking for. We kind of wanted a 1.5 room, which is basically when I do like a apartment tour, you'll see. But it's essentially just a what we would call in America a 1-bedroom, meaning there's 1 bedroom, a living room, a kitchen. But here in Korea, in this studio apartment, they call that a 1 room. So what Matthew and I were looking for was technically a 1.5 room or a 2 room, but really just 1.5. So we look and it's not a 1.5, it's really a 1 room, and we're like, okay, so we're gonna have to keep looking. But then he tells us there's another unit that's bigger up, like right, well actually he didn't say where it was, but it was actually next door. There's a bigger unit and it's a little bit more rent. So originally the first place we looked at, the down deposit was 5 million won, which is about 5,000 USD. And in Korea, usually what you do is make a big down payment on an apartment and then you pay like a very low rent. So like you'd put down $5,000 for your deposit and then maybe your rent's like 400 or 500 won, 1,000 won, which is about 400, 500 USD, which is super cheap rent. But that's because you put like large amounts of money down for your housing. So the first place we looked at, the rent was 450 a month. And because Matthew and I are splitting it, that's a pretty good rent. That's about, math, two something. That's like 220 each, 225 each. There we go. And so the next place was a little bit bigger, and it's the same down deposit, but the rent is $50 more, so it's 500. Okay, so the camera died. But I think where I left off was that the rent is $50 more in the place that we actually ended up going with. So I remember distinctly, he opens the door, I walk in, see the living room, see the kitchen, which is so modern. I'll insert like the 2 very quick, very lame clips I took because I was so nervous. I didn't really know what to do. The first place that we viewed, like someone's stuff was still there, and I just felt very uncomfortable taking pictures of it. And then the second one, I just was nervous because the landlord was there, and the real estate agent was just like waiting for us. And my friend was like in super check mode and like was checking everything to make sure that it was a good place, which I'm so grateful for because I didn't know the first thing to look for. And she knew everything to look for. So basically, yeah, I just took 2 very quick videos. But I walked in, saw the kitchen, saw the living room, and was like, that's it. I want it. I don't want to look at another apartment. I want this. Because someone was coming to view it in another like 10 minutes. And I was freaked because the thing is, you could have the intention of going back to that place, but if someone walks in a minute later and like puts in an offer, you're screwed. It doesn't matter. You could be in the apartment looking at it, and someone have gone yesterday and make a call and take the place, and like you can't get it. So that's like kind of how quick it moves here. So yeah, so basically I looked at it and looked at Matthew and was like, I want this place. And luckily he wanted it as well. They did show us a third place and I was like freaking out because I knew someone was coming to look at the apartment and I didn't want to lose it. So we look at that third place and it was like, okay. It was just older. There was no furniture because that's another thing. I specifically also wanted a place that had furniture in it because I didn't want to have to buy a bed, a mattress, just the things that I'm only going to need for 1 year here that are kind of hard to sell or give away. So, yeah, so this apartment basically that we are moving into has everything I could ask for. It's like 2 minutes away from the subway. It's near a park. It's near Costco. It's near Home Plus. It's near a department store. It is close to a lot of the bus lines that I take to go around Daejeon typically. It is spacious, it is modern, it has a wonderful kitchen, it's furnished, did I say that? It's furnished, and it's like at the upper limit of what we wanted to spend. Truthfully, if Matt and I wanted, we could spend $800 a month on rent, because that's exactly what we get, both, 400. But because we want to kind of pocket some change, we were trying to keep it 500 and below. And so the rent is at that upper limit of 500 that we wanted to reach. But like, honestly, I could care less because I am so excited to decorate it and just, we'll also live with Matt, but which is gonna be crazy because I've never like lived with someone before, or like on my own, because this, like, I don't do anything. I pay the bills, but like my school handles it. But like this new apartment, like I have to like send in the rent money, and I don't know, it feels very grown up. So yeah, I am bursting with excitement for this new place, and I'm a little, like, it's weird because ever since I signed it, like this place, this apartment I'm in, doesn't feel like home anymore, but before it did. And at the same time, I feel kind of like sad to let it go because I've lived here for going on 2 years now, almost. So it's going to be sad to let go of this little first place in Korea and first place on my own in life. And wow, that just hit me. Yeah, so that's crazy. And it's crazy that like I'm going to be moving in with Matthew, and that's wild to me. And exciting. So yeah, just wanted to update y'all with some good news, and it's definitely earlier, and the only bummer is that I do have to pay, so when you move in, you pay your key money, your down deposit, and you pay first month's rent. So Matthew and I already kind of made a payment towards that. So we have to pay first month's rent, which is January to the end of February, and then we have to pay again in February, which kind of blows because it's our own pocket money, but it's fine because we'll probably save that back up in the year. So I'm not too worried about it, but it is a little bit of a bummer. So I do have to pay 2 months rent because I'm moving out early, but it also means the stress is gone because I was honestly worried we wouldn't find a place in the area that we wanted, and it also means that I get to live in this place longer. We signed a 13-month lease, so it starts at the end of January 31st, and it goes until 2022, February 28th. That was a weird way to say the date, but yeah, so that's exciting, and this will more than likely be our last year in South Korea. So it's going to be ending with a big bang in a new place, and I've already got so much saved on coupon. And I will 100% do a kind of like moving out, moving in update because it's going to be a lot. I have to get a mover truck to move like my table that I have in my chair, and my air purifier, and all my other stuff. And then it's going to be a process putting the apartment together, and all of this I'm super excited for. But yeah, okay, I can't say excited enough, and that's that. I'm going to stop rambling because I can talk on and on and on about all of this. But yeah, so just wanted to update you guys and just let this out into the world because it'll be nice to look back on. So if you watched my ramblings through to the end, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for all the apartment stuff because it's gonna come at you real quick. It's coming at me real quick. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, and bye.